What's happening everyone, and welcome back to I'm Curious. From events big and small, today we'll be looking at 7 ways the world or humanity could end in the near future, so strap yourselves in and let's get straight into it. Galactic cannibalism takes place on a scale roughly 1/6 times larger than that of an average human size. That's 1 with 21 zeros. The overall concept essentially comes down to the fact that smaller galaxy succumbs to the gravity of bigger one and is slower to our by it, therefore adding to its mass and make it even larger than it was before. The speed and probability of the process is influenced by 3 major factors, which are the mass ratio of the galaxies, the relative velocity between them, and just how close they are to form a direct hit. It has been estimated that the complete process of interaction between 2 galaxies can take up to about 500 million years. Therefore, most of these events can only be captured at a certain phase, and the rest has to be modeled by computer simulations. Additionally, it has been calculated that in around 4 billion years, our home Milky Way galaxy, which harbors around 100 billion stars, will collide with a massive neighboring Andromeda galaxy that can call itself home to more than 1 trillion stars. The solar systems involved would have very little notice of this. An actual collision between stars themselves is extremely unlikely due to the massive space between them. However, the sheer amount of stars involved in the process does push the chance a bit higher to the point where it can still happen, and we know that we cannot live without our sun, can we? Speaking about the sun, one of the essential ingredients that made it possible for Earth to harbor life, it seems that it can be one of the reasons to end it all as well. A phenomenon known as coronal mass ejection that includes violent ejection of solar gas, plasma, and electromagnetic radiation, which can propel more than 10 billion tons of solar matter outward from the sun's atmosphere with the ability to extend billions of miles into the space, could easily reach Earth within just a matter of 1 to 3 days. How is that for an apocalyptic notice? Some of the larger coronal mass ejections that could reach the Earth's orbit would be over 45 million miles in diameter, which is about half the distance between Earth and the Sun, and nearly 6,000 times larger than the diameter of Earth itself. However, it does not necessarily need to reach the Earth, as the shockwave of the traveling mass can disrupt radio transmissions and cause damage to satellites and electrical transmission line facilities, resulting in potentially massive and long-lasting power outages, which had previously barely missed Earth on 23rd of July 2012, and according to NASA, and has an estimated 12% chance of happening again in next 6 years. Black holes have been around and were studied for a while now, although in the past couple of years, scientists have succeeded in numerically simulating black hole mergers that incorporate Einstein's theory of relativity. One of the most intriguing predictions is that when 2 black holes that are rotating at different speeds or are different in size combine, the newly merged black hole receives a huge kick due to conservation of momentum, pushing it out in a random direction at velocities as high as 4,000 kilometers per second. Considering that that's about 500 times more than the speed of a space shuttle, and that there could be around 70 to 2,000 of these roaming in our neighborhood already based on similar simulations, we could be on a track to explore the unknowns of an inside of a black hole sooner than we think. If you are aware of Drake's equation, which gives an estimate of likelihood of discovering intelligent extraterrestrial life in a given galaxy, we come up to roughly 4,590 potential extraterrestrial civilizations that could be classed as our neighbors. But that's just considering one galaxy, and it's thought that there could be around 1 trillion of these in the known universe, so looking from a mathematical point of view, perhaps we're not that unique as we thought. That's one of the reasons why we already hear so much from the legendary scientist Stephen Hawking, who already made a famous statement saying that if aliens do visit, the outcome could result in something similar to that of a Columbus landing in America, and obviously it did not work out well for the natives. With over 1,350 UFO sightings reported to one of the largest non-profit UFO organizations in the world during 2015, a very large portion of these would be dismissed as hoaxes or natural phenomenon, but the remaining few percent is where the mystery lies, and therefore it's not shocking that based on national poll results, over 80% of Americans think the government is hiding knowledge of existence of extraterrestrial life forms. It's worth mentioning that it's thought the universe is around 13.8 billion years old, which means that some of the civilizations could be billions of years ahead of us, and based on the rate of technological advancements that we experience on the present day, it's extremely difficult to say what shape or form these beings could take. Do they even have a shape at all, or do they even care about our existence at this point? No one could really say, and that's why it makes it so interesting and frightening at the same time. Perhaps not a risk today, but a certain risk in the near future. Synthetic biology is a science field that focuses on creation of biological systems including artificial life. And while scientists have been engineering genetic sequences for decades and commercial gene sequencing has been around for years, the field continues to move into uncharted territories. In fact, in 2010, researchers for the first time were able to design and produce cells that do not exist in nature without the use of pre-existing biological matter, which marked a significant stage in the rapidly advancing field. As these scientific breakthroughs can definitely bring a lot of good to the humanity, a hypothetical danger could be easily seen as one of these tools of synthetic biology could be easily used by extremist organizations to engineer a super virus or a super bacteria that is more infectious and capable of mass destruction than the one that could evolve naturally. This scenario could threaten the humanity as a whole, and even if some of the population would manage to survive through this event, there is a slight possibility that it would not be able to adapt to the giant population decline and simply die off. As the majority of the world has been made aware, climate change is real and can be felt throughout the globe. It's being caused by us as well as the giant well of methane lurking under the Arctic ice. As we burn carbon and increase our meat-eating ways, more and more greenhouse gases are building up in the atmosphere. It's pretty easy to see the endgame of this scenario. At this point, many environmentalists think we have already passed the point of no return, in which case Earth will continue warming even if we do manage to cut our CO2 emissions, which, as per the World Health Organization, is already killing 150,000 people every year. The global average sea level has been observed to rise at a rate roughly 3.2 millimeters per year due to the contribution of glacier melt as well as the thermal expansion of water caused by temperature increases. This will result in a number of islands disappearing from the surface of the Earth in the near future and has even set to eliminate the entire country of Kiribati, which consists of 33 islands totaling a population of 103,000 people. But that's not all. Rising temperatures and humidity could also expose hundreds of millions of people worldwide to potentially lethal heat stress by 2060, making Southeast Asia, the Middle East and Africa as the primary locations where this could take place first. As computer power continues to exponentially increase, certain forecasts suggest the same for advancements in artificial intelligence. It has been foreseen that by 2020, 85% of customer interactions will be managed without a human being involved. And just to make you a bit more worried, it has been estimated that AI will replace around 16% of all American jobs by the end of this decade. Competing with AI may be a possibility today, but once computer programs grow advanced enough to teach themselves, they could use this knowledge to improve themselves, thus causing a spiral of ever-increasing superintelligence. This is where the flashbacks of 1985's hit movie may start kicking in. As we do know that humans with armed weapons is already bad enough, well, how about an intelligent machine that is so advanced that it's essentially incapable of making mistakes and most likely has no empathy to spare any of our lives? With scientists predicting the point when AI potentially reach the intelligence of a human being is said to be in the next 100 years, developers from the largest search engine's artificial intelligence division, DeepMind, have teamed up with Oxford University researchers to already develop a kill switch in order to prevent AI from actually causing any harm even if it would reach that stage. So just in case you're lying awake at night worrying about the possibility of AI conquering the world, you probably would be better off thinking of the benefits it brings us now and those that will bring us in the near future. As always, thanks for watching everyone, and if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons as well as check my Facebook page for some interesting daily facts. As for now, see you next time and stay curious.